Hello everyone, welcome to Platform Con 25. I hope you are having as awesome a time as I am having. This is my first time as a speaker. A brief about me: I have been in this industry for roughly 14 years now. I am also a platform engineering ambassador and a part of the CNCF platforms working group. Along with that, I actually lead as part of my day work a platform engineering team, the success part of the platform at a big four consulting company. So I've been working in this space for roughly 4 to 5 years now, and I hope my presentation kind of intrigues some of you. So my talk will be on platform convergence, what it is, why it is important, and how to go about it. And as I go through the talk, you will hear more and more about it. But before I do that, I just wanted to level set with all of you by kind of discussing what is a platform. So there's a very nice definition. I like this definition from Ivan Bockert from ThoughtWorks. So he says a platform is a digital platform. It's a foundation of self-service APIs, tools, knowledge, support, which is arranged as an internal product, a compelling internal product for developers to consume. And autonomous delivery teams, kind of like streamline teams in the word of team topologies, make use of the platform to deliver product features at higher pace, obviously more go to market with reduced coordination. So at the end of the day, an internal platform basically helps business facing teams, customer facing teams, stream aligned teams who are building business facing products built in much faster, secure, repeatable manner. It enhances reusability, reduces duplication basically, and it helps a developer kind of enjoy his work by reducing the cognitive load on the developer. Are there different types of platforms? So do you think there are different types of platforms? I feel so. I have seen it in my enterprise. So the most common platform that you will see in an enterprise is this foundational technology platform. These are platforms which produce you data marts, compute network storage. It will produce offer something like an antivirus. But on there are other platforms which are a little bit more customized, which can be built on top of this technology platform. That can be a data platform, it can be an AI platform, but most importantly, it can be a foundational business platform. That's very important. So there can be business platforms which are built on top of technology platforms, serving different sets of users. A business platform will serve primarily business users and customers, whereas a technology platform is providing you the kind of technology assets which help you in build a business platform or the products of a business platform. Can there be multiple platforms in the same enterprise? So as I said, there are different types of platforms. Ideally, a technology platform should be only one. There should not be multiple technology platforms, because at the end of the day, it's a technology platform. You are providing compute, network, storage, data mart. Why do you need to provide it in multiple ways? It's a foundational technology assets. But a business platform, yes, there could be multiple business platforms. Could be, right? For example, I could have one business platform per domain, one for healthcare, one for insurance, one for risk, one for tax, one for invoices, right? But a technology platform, the same technology platform can power all of these different business platforms at ease, right? Because all of this will need network, all of them will need data ingestion, AI capabilities, open AI LLMs. So the same technology platform technically can provide. So ideally, an enterprise should have a single technology platform. But we all know enterprises seldom do the right thing, right? Enterprises are a big ball of mud. So there is a high chance that you will end up with more than one technology platforms. And I will go a step further and I say it's a high chance that you will not have any enterprise which started with a single technology platform. Because by the time you start this concept of platform engineering, you will see already in different pockets of your enterprise, you have teams who have already started building something like a platform, right? I'm not saying it's a full-fledged, fully funded end-to-end platform, but you will have some. Why do we see in enterprise, and I consult with clients, I see this again and again, why do we see so many people building so many platforms? It can be for a variety of reasons. One of the most, let's say, prevalent reasons is duplication because of isolation or unawareness. So let's say I am building something, I'm not even aware that there is a central technology platform that I could leverage, so I might build my own. It could even be that I built it when the technology, the central technology platform was not available. So I had to use this. There is another better than other syndrome that we normally as enterprises suffer from. This is where one team feels that no, the central technology platform is not good enough and I can do a better job. So let me build it on my own. I will do a better job than the others. Some people will say, yeah, the central technology platform is there, it's doing something, but it's too slow, right? It has to cater to so many needs. That's why it's so slow. It has to be generic enough because it's a foundational technology platform. That means it's slow. So in that case, what happens basically is that they will say, I can build it myself, right? I can build it myself, not because I'm building it better than you, but because I'm faster than you, because I don't need to take care of all of the different viewpoints. I can just do my stuff. And the last thing, the last reason, which I feel is a valid reason, I think that's a valid reason to have something like a something similar to a platform, maybe, but it's a very niche sort of an use case. So let's say, for example, for GDPR reasons, in EU, let's say in Europe West or in Germany, you cannot use a global technology platform because there is a mandate from the government that every single platform engineer who is working on your platform has to be based out of Germany, as an example. So that's a very niche use case where you might end up having very specific domain specific region specific platforms. Even though they're technology platforms, you might have that, but that's okay. As I said, right, it's a very very specific use case, very niche use case. We should not have at least global technology platforms which are duplicated. Specific use case, specific domains. For example, you need a HIPAA certified platform for a very small subset of your use cases for helping healthcare clients. Perfectly okay with that. So one important thing here that I wanted to mention is that a platform normally is a big thing, right? It's not a very simple thing. People take years to build a self-service, autonomous, reliable platform, right? So what we have to understand that this concept that I'm talking about, yes, it is applicable to full-fledged platform, but it is also applicable to components within the platform. So what do I mean by that? I mean that even if your platform is not getting duplicated, even if a subset of your platform is getting duplicated, that is also important for us to understand. So let's say, for example, the central platform offers an observability as a service sort of an offering, and you find there are other parts of the enterprise who are also doing the same. Then also I will think of it as a duplication. I will think that even if the full platform has not been duplicated, offerings of which are central offerings from the central technology platform, right? This platform that I'm saying there should be only one, they're being repeated across the enterprise. So that is also a very valid use case for us to think about how do we handle that. So let's say we end up with multiple platforms or multiple offerings, right? As I said, technology, multiple technology offerings across the enterprise. So let's say multiple teams within the enterprise are offering logging, observability, antivirus, right? What do we do, right? So that's where the purpose of this talk comes. This is something we are actually kind of grappling with. We are kind of thinking about every day at the enterprise where I work, is this concept of platform convergence. So what is platform convergence? The platform convergence is this concept of how you over time consolidate your platforms so that you end up with one central technology platform, just one across the enterprise. But the first question is why? Why should you invest in this concept of technology convergence or platform convergence for the technology assets within the platform? The idea is that multiple platforms is a waste of money. We all know that, right? It leads to duplication, it leads to chaos, it leads to a lack of understanding of where the technology vision of the enterprise is as an overall. So that is the whole reason we started with this concept of platform engineering, right? To reduce the cognitive load of developers, to ensure that we don't build the same thing again and again, again and again across an enterprise. So if we end up with multiple technology platforms, we are not solving that problem. As I said, difficult to manage. You end up with same kind of things being done again and again. Developers are confused. Which platform should I use? Should I use platform A by this team? Should I use the central technology platform? What is better? What is worse? And you end up with shadow IT because you cannot have the same level of governance, rigor, budget control, treating your platform as a product in every single platform. You can only do so much as an enterprise, right? So that's some of the reasons why we don't want that. But what is this process? How do we start it? So it's pure common sense. It's just like any other convergence, right? So you first scan your enterprise to identify what it is that is important. What do you think are those assets that are getting duplicated or platforms which are getting duplicated across the enterprise? Then once you have that list, you assess them whether they are potential candidates for inclusion in the internal platform. As I said, right, not everything should be included in a central technology platform. Only if it is reusable, only if it is aligned with all of your principles, it should be included in the central technology platform. So you assess all of them. So maybe you have discovered 15 assets, But based on your assessment, you might end up with just two or three. Once you have those two or three assets, then you try to start this process of merging the capabilities, right? So you take the asset which was built by one bespoke team within the enterprise, some region, let's say it was built by China or Japan, and now you are starting this process of how you incorporate it into the main platform. So this is the process. One very important thing here to understand is that platform convergence is not just technology convergence, it is beyond that. It's a convergence of delivery models, governance framework, roadmaps. How do you handle the staffing? What happens with the people from the existing team? Do we take them? Do we remove them? What do we do with them, basically, right? So it's a big concept. So the technology part is still complicated, but it's still okay, something we can work with. But think of it as in the bigger spectrum. That's where it gets challenging. So that's where we, as a platform team, we have understood that not all platforms are built in the same way. We all know, right? Every platform has its own nuances, specifics. So we want some platforms to be more aligned than other platforms from the perspective of platform convergence. So there are some key points that kind of distinguishes a platform which is more aligned to be converged than something which is not. I'm noting some of them down here because I feel it could be interesting for any platforms you are building. So first thing is you should build your platform in a way that's easy to contribute. If your platform is easy to contribute, then all of the other assets which were built by the rest of the firm, you can contribute them back into your platform as part of the convergence process. So if your central internal platform, right, the central platform, the main platform has embraces this sort of an inner source approach, then the rest of the assets across the enterprise that you want to include or converge into your central platform process becomes easy. Have a domain driven design of your central platform, right? Ensure that there are different domains, then it's easier for the different other aspects of technology across the enterprise which are serving other domains to be merged into your platform. So that is also interesting. Abstraction is a must. You should not expose the internal intricacies of your platform. You should have an abstraction layer which will make it easier for you to integrate other assets built within the firm that you want to integrate into your platform, right? So that is very important, having an abstraction layer. So let's say you are building an observability solution, somebody else has something else. So if you want to integrate this, there needs to be an abstraction layer so that it becomes easy to integrate. Dedicated team, dedicated focus, dedicated charter is needed for platform convergence. Otherwise it won't work. Simple, it won't work. This is something we have learned the hard way. It has to be part of a bigger initiative. You cannot do it as part of your BAU. It will never work. This needs a lot of focus, and it has a lot of challenges you will face. As I said, technology is one challenge, abstraction, inner source, some of this can fix it, but there are bigger challenges across staffing, budget, roadmap, who pays for the convergence effort. Once you have converged, what does the original team get? Do they get something? Otherwise they end up being a loser, so to speak, in their mind. So there's a lot of complexity you have to handle as part of this process. So what I wanted to do with this session, right, short session, right, is to kind of introduce you to this concept that it's not as simple as a la la land where there is only one technology platform in the enterprise, only one team working on it. Everybody respects that team, everybody adheres to the guidelines of the team, nobody does any duplication. No, no enterprise works in this way. An enterprise, the big ball of mud, is the chaotic place. People will build their own stuff, right? Some way or the other, for some reason or the other. But what we can do as a technology platform, right, as the central technology platform, we can embrace this concept of platform convergence. We can build our platform, the platform we have control over, in a way that it encourages people to contribute their offerings. And we need to keep an eye out for all of the other parts of the enterprise where people are trying to duplicate something. We need to interject either in the beginning or in the end if we learn about it at the end, and we need to take those offerings and bring them back. There is value, there is a lot of business value if you can do it right, because this is the concept, this aligns with the concept of having a platform at the first place, right? We should not have multiple technology platforms all across the enterprise. We should have one. We should have this concept of platform convergence. It is real, it is working. I've tried it out in my enterprise, it works, but it needs to be treated as a discipline. It needs to be prioritized. It cannot be BAU. As a platform team, there are things that we can do, right, as I said, to better position ourselves for success, so that when another team comes and says, guys, okay, I'm okay to converge my asset into your platform, what do I need to do? It's easy for them. You cannot make it another 1 year 5 year exercise for them to converge their product into your platform. It will never work. So with this, I hope you enjoyed this concept of platform convergence. you research about it a little bit. And if you ever want to reach out to me on this concept or anything else, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for listening to my talk, and I hope you have a great PlatformCon 2025. Cheers.